that could be an issue. Gonna have to fix that when we get back to the yard. For sure. Always something when you're driving these trucks, y'all. Always something when you're driving these trucks.
The following is for informational purposes only. We are not professionals. Just good old boys trying to keep our trucks on the road.
Alright guys, we made it in here to the yard. We're about to unhook that trailer, get it put on line here, and we're gonna back the truck up to that door. It's about 100 degrees out here, so it's gonna be a little warm. Excuse me if I got some black stuff all over my face. My Uncle Adam's in there polishing the tanks on the Freightliner, and I was helping him use that use the grinder and the Zephyr polishing wheels. Shout out to Zephyr, wanna give me a sponsor. Anyway, we're gonna drop this trailer and get backed up, and we'll get to the airbag. See y'all in a minute.
It's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a.
Alright guys, we got the truck backed up here. I've already kind of got everything out that I needed. The airbag that is giving us problems, it's this one right here, and you can see around the base here where it's been blowing out. Look on this one, looks like it might have been doing the same thing. You can see the dry rotting and cracking on this one as well already. So we only have one airbag. Got the new one right here. We only got one. We had two. I put a new one on that side about a month ago. So tomorrow I gotta go to Amarillo, run parts, and I'm gonna get two more airbags and go ahead and change this one out and then the left front out as well. Tell you a little secret. When you're on the road, and I really couldn't do it with this one, but sometimes you can do it. If you have an airbag leaking, you can bypass that bag and leave the other three up to go get done whatever you need to do. In my case, the airbag was just hissing. It wasn't just a crazy leak where I was losing air pressure. When I was running down the highway, the truck was holding 115 pounds like it should, so that wasn't no big deal. On this system, on this truck itself, this line right here, this 1/4-inch line, feeds the airbag air. Now this 3/8 line coming off here feeds air on up to that front airbag. So really that airbag is last in line on this side. Same way on this side, you got a 1/4-inch line right here coming from your leveling valve over into the bag. That feeds air to that bag right there. This 3/8 line coming out here goes to that right front airbag. So to isolate the front airbags, there's just a single airline going in it. So all you gotta do is undo that airline and then get your 2 zip ties, fold that airline in half and zip tie that airline shut to where it will stay closed. You can just crimp the airline right here, squeeze it tight, and no air will get past it. I've done it 1,000 times back when I was a mechanic in the oil field to get a truck back to the yard. Now, in no way am I condoning this action, but it's what we do out here in the country to get stuff back to the house. It'll get you to the house better than paying $1,000 record bill, because you gotta freaking airbag leaking, get to the house. So, or get to a shop or wherever you need to get your truck to. So that's what we usually do. These airbags in particular, these fittings in particular, sometimes you can take these loose and put a dime in there on that fitting, and then screw the fitting back on, and that dime will keep air from going to that busted bag, that bag that has a leak. So there's just several ways you can do it. Now, as far as these back ones, to be able to do it, you would need to isolate that bag to where it wouldn't, or let's just use the bag that we got busted over here. To isolate this bag, I would have to put this line and this line together. So you would need a fitting to do that with, put those together with a reducer. Or you could take your lines loose here, undo your fitting that goes into the top of the airbag, and then get a cap, a regular threaded cap, thread onto that fitting, and then you can bypass the airbag that way. So if it's your particular truck that you run all the time, that's something you might keep under the bunk or in your toolbox to bypass one if you ever blow one or whatever going down the road. So, but like I said, we got everything here we need to complete this job. We'll need 9/16 right here. You got 2 bolts on top that secure the top of the airbag, which we got our 9/16 socket here, wobble and extension because of the frame here. The wobble and extension comes in handy to take those 2 off, and 9 times out of 10 them dang things break off, so there ain't much you can do about that. On the bottom you got a 3/4 inch nut right here on the bottom to take off, in which we got our 3/4 inch socket here, got our 1/2 inch impact, got a 13/16 wrench to take this fitting off, and then we got a 9/16 wrench to take this fitting off. Once we get the airbag out, we got to pull this fitting out and put it in the new airbag. I'm going to grab my jack. What I generally do, I got a big 4 jack that I can run up underneath here and pick up on the frame, and that'll expand that airbag, expand the frame up to where you can pull that airbag out easy. And you know, because right now we got air, but as soon as I take these fittings off, we're going to lose all our air, and the frame is going to drop, and it'll compress that bag, and it just makes it harder to get out. So you put a jack under there or whatever, then you can get it out with no problem. So, but as far as the new airbag, we ran into a little problem with this. This is a 97 model truck, and this air spring number 66, and I think that's supposed to be an 866, is the newer style bag. And the bellows, not the bellows, but the pedestal here, one of them is a little taller, a little shorter. Once I get them all off, we'll figure out. But what I have to do, I use this bag, and I'll have to use that pedestal when I go back on, so the ride height won't be different on each bag. So that's just the difference in the newer style Peterbilt low Airleaf and the older style, which this truck is, being a 97P, like I said, Peterbilt low Airleaf. So I'm going to get after it. I'm going to get the jack put under here. I'll kind of probably catch some shots going through getting it removed, and then when we get it off here, I'll show y'all the comparison, and we'll get it put back on. Simple job. This is something I hadn't done on this channel in a while as a maintenance video, and this was an easy one, and I figured I'd hit y'all up with one today. So thanks for watching, and let's get to work. half-inch impact won't even get those nuts loose, so, or those bolts loose. So as soon as I put a breaker bar on them, guess what they finna do? Break. Let's get it. There went one. There went two. Alright guys, right here we got our new airbag and our old airbag. So what we got to do, first of all, anytime you do an airbag, always make sure all your fittings and everything are the same. You can see where we broke the two bolts off right here, going into the top of this airbag. And this is where the new bolts, I have to find a couple bolts. We got a bolt in back here I can look through. Right here is where the fitting, where this fitting will screw into. Always make a reference of which way it needs to be facing. So the way we're looking at it here, it needs to face just like this. So this direction. So always reference that as well. Next thing we got to do, I'm going to show y'all why. Usually you don't have to do this on your bags, but this is the pedestal that we're going to have to use, because this pedestal here, I can't remember, it's either taller or shorter than this one. So that's why we gotta swap pedestals. There's no big deal to it. Only thing that is kind of a pain, and on this one it wasn't, just pull it out. That's all you gotta do, pull it out. So I'm gonna set these down here on the floor and I'll give y'all a reference. Alright. If you look here, the old pedestal is, see if I can let y'all see it, roughly 5 3/4 inch tall. The new one is damn near 6 3/4 inches tall. So there's about an inch difference in the height, in the total ride height. I know y'all can't see my face here, but so we're gonna reuse this one right here. The newer style, do it like this and y'all can see me better. The newer style, low Airleaf Peterbilts, use this type of a pedestal, and this is the older style. So we're just gonna swap them out. Super easy, nothing to it. So let's get at it. I was looking through some of the stuff came with the new airbag. It came with the two top bolts. There's the part number. So we're good there. The only thing that don't come with is this piece of all thread right here. If you look, this all thread has an Allen key notch at the top, but I've always found that you try to take this out with them Allen keys, it's rusty in there, it's not gonna come off. So you usually gotta get a small pipe wrench or something and grab it down here close to the base, where you can just you can unthread it right here instead of breaking you're either gonna break your Allen key or bend it or whatever. It don't. I found that it never works. So we're gonna take this thing out. All right, y'all, I couldn't hold it still by hand, so I moved it over here to the vise in our service truck, see if that'll hold it in place. There we go. If you look here, I don't know if you can see in the video, but that's as far as the threads that we use are. So we're not damaging anything by busting it loose right here. That's all we're going to use is that first inch. If you couldn't get this out, you could always go find a bolt about that length at your hardware store or whatever, and to get it out. Watch out them little pieces of metal that you jack up while you're using that pipe wrench. Get in your finger and that'll be bothering you for 2 weeks. The metal splinters. Alright, got her out. Now we'll just thread it into the new one. Nothing special. The new, look at these threads in this new airbag. I'm sitting on the shelf. They got a lot of rust in them, so I advise putting a little WD-40 or PP Blaster or whatever in there, and then putting some anti-seize on your boat. PP Blaster, the red next to WD-40. Let that sit there, let it run wherever, whatever. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. So I'm not gonna worry about putting no anti-seize on it today. Just gonna thread her in. You can get it in there about 1 inch. You're done all the good. I went ahead and got us an Allen wrench. That way we can make sure it's good and snug. Bottomed out right there. Now, we gotta flip it over and put our fitting in. Alright. We got the bag squeezed into the vise here. We're gonna take the fitting out. Handy dandy all-purpose wrench here. All this stuff is so in there. Alright, let's go clean this fitting up and prepare it for the new bag. Alright, put our new fitting in. Always put thread tape on any of your air fittings. When putting thread tape on, you always go just like putting a bolt on it. If you're, a nut on it, or putting a bolt in a fitting. It's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Turn it right. Got this fan behind me giving me hell right now. There we go. What you do, going that way, it leaves the exposed end right here when you turn in. Because if you put it on the wrong way and you thread it in that way, it would pull your thread tape off. So once you get your thread tape on, I don't have to do these because these are ferrule fittings, compression fittings, and this one is just regular pipe. So put her back on here. Alrighty, this one needs to be facing down. Turning at it. Right there, just like that. Now we're ready to go install the bag. Alright, now we got our bag set in place, pretty well lined up. We're going to lower the jack here and let the frame come down on the airbag, and we'll try to line up our 2 bolt holes here with the hose on top of the bag and get our boat started. Alright, then you want to stop it where you can still move it kind of free to get your new boat started. Alright, we've got our boats started. Let's run them up. Alright, y'all. After you get the top secure, reuse your old bolt, your old nut and your washer. Get them started. Put it on the right way. It's a lock nut, so you got to put it on a certain way. That's simple. She's all secure. Now we just got to put our air lines back on. First, we're going to put our supply line back on.
Tear it up for it.
No. Just about time to tear something up for the week. Gets close to Friday, you gotta tear something up. You gotta start
slowing down at them divots.
Heck, New Mexico gotta fix the roads.
Yeah, they got to build it.
Yeah, they do. Alright, that was the old fella that owns the shop here that we rent this shop from. He's a cool old guy. We're gonna put in our relay line now that sends air to the front airbag. So get it inserted, make sure your ferrule sucks up pretty good. And then once you tighten up your nut here to pull that ferrule on into place. Usually you can kind of wiggle that line around, and you can twist it on pretty far by hand. That way you don't have to wrench it so far. If you got a good clean fitting and a nut. After we get this tight, we're going to go up there and start up the truck, let the airbags air up. Now one thing, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Let me go start the truck up, and then we'll talk about why it's airing up. All right, we got the truck airing up. Now if you're on the roadside, something I want to talk about here, if you don't have a jack to raise your frame up and down, one thing you can do, that pop was that jack, the frame's airing up, but one thing you can do is isolate, like that front airbag we had up there. You have to isolate it. Take your leveling valve rod off, and look over here. Unbolt your leveling valve rod right here. You can move your leveling arm up and down if you got these bags isolated and these are still hooked up. You can raise your frame up and down with these two bags. And all you gotta do is, once you get your bag back in there, adjust your leveling valve rod, set it down just like we did with the jack. But that's a good way to do it out in the field if you don't have a jack to work with. And if you don't have one of those jack stand, big round jack stands like that, you can use a regular you know, 12-ton, 20-ton jack that you use for when you're doing tires, and just block it up to your frame until it gets high enough to where you can raise it up or down. Just makes it a lot easier. You can put an airbag in without doing that, but man, it's tight and stuff don't fit sometimes, and it's just kind of a hassle. So no big deal. Just got to find a way to isolate the bag that you have off. And if you're losing air somewhere while you're out of one of your lines, you need to crimp it off or whatever, so the other bags will catch the air and you can air up the frame and lower the frame, whatever you want to do. So, but it's airing up, and we'll check it out to make sure there ain't no leaks, and we'll wrap this video up. All right, she's aired up, y'all. Plenty of air. Everything looks good. Now we just need to replace this one in the left front. We'll have all new airbags. I did the sleeper airbags a while back, so we should. Ooh, I stood up too fast. Got a little dizzy there. It's hot. It's 100 degrees. All right, catch my breath. There we go. All right, I'm a little better. I just stood up too fast. Dehydrated. Y'all ever do that? Stand up too fast and get a little dizzy? All right. Take y'all around here right quick before we sign off. Old Uncle Adam been working hard on his truck. Should have seen these tanks before. He did some polishing on them today. Got them looking a lot better. These boxes were almost white and they look a lot better. And I think he's working on his lights on this, on the bumper we made. We finally found us some better three-way connectors, didn't we, Adam?
Yes, sir. Not better.
Did they fit better?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good deal, good deal. But yeah, he got his light rack fixed up. Got this old box polished up. This tank over here, we're gonna have to cut it or something. It's gonna have to be sanded or cut really good. It cleaned up good, it just didn't get a real good shine to it. So our cutting wheel, it's seen better days, so we'll have to get some more cutting wheels tomorrow. Plans for tomorrow, Friday, we have slowed down on our fertilizer runs big time. I mean, it pretty much has come to a crawl. I'm going to run to Amarillo in the morning. I got to get we got the PTO already. I got to get a pump for this truck, and so while I'm in Amarillo, Adam's going to drain the transmission fluid on it, and we got to mount a hydro pack, which a hydro pack is a oil cooler slash reservoir for hydraulic oil for a PTO setup on the truck. So we're gonna mount it right here, and hopefully we can use some of these bolts that are already here and don't have to do a lot of drilling. But boss man don't have a PTO set up on this truck yet, and we need to get it set up. We have a pretty good little run coming up that's going to be year round, Monday through Friday. And we're going to be using this trailer right here, the walking floor, right, not the walking floor, excuse me, the belt trailer. And we're going to be picking up salt in up in Oklahoma and taking it over to Freona, Texas. A load of salt every day. It's 281 miles one way, so it'll be a little bit over what, 562 miles round trip. So we got to get this thing all cleaned up and ready to go. And one of us, you know, with this ag work, there's a lot of lulls in between seasons and whatnot, so this is going to give us something to do all the time. So, you know, one of us can go do it for 2 days, and then another one go out and do it for 2 days, and kind of just keep us all busy at one time or another. So we have birdsong trailers we still need to go work on, and here we are at almost August, and before you know it, we're gonna be into peanut harvest. So, and then as soon as it's over, we're gonna be into cotton harvest. So, and then as soon as cotton harvest is over, we'll be back into our winter fertilizer run. So it's all just gonna go bam, bam, bam. It'll be here before you know it. And busy, hot, cool front coming through on Sunday. It's Thursday now, so it's be in the 80s for the better part of the week next week, so I'll be good. Probably be 100% humidity still though. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing if you like the content, and hit that thumbs up if you like it. Hit the thumbs down if you don't. And if you do hit the thumbs down, let me know why. I'd like to know why. I have like every video there's one thumbs down. I don't know if it's the same person all the time or what, but anyway, it ain't no big deal. All the folks that have been here with us for the long haul for the last 18 months, we went over 1,800 subscribers this week, and on our way to that 2,000 mark. So, you know, our little old channel of me just stumbling through my day is I can't believe there's 1,800 people that actually even want to watch that. So, but I appreciate every one of y'all, and thank you for your support. And a few, and if I leave you out, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to talk about take y'all along with me on the parts run tomorrow, and we'll talk about the channel's subscribers and some of the YouTubers that have gave me inspiration, and those of y'all that comment on every video, and I really appreciate it. I really look forward to reading y'all's comments, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. So for 806 driver, Ronnie's Transport, keep the shiny side up, the hammer down, support your veterans, and we'll see y'all on the next.